Greetings to you all. Today we have this conversation where we want to honor and give thanks to God for one of our own, Lynn Gibson, for being the head of the SOUB Kitchen, which is an outreach ministry, one of the outreach ministries at St. Michael's here in Bryanston. And we just want to take this opportunity to have a conversation with her, to hear all what she has done, but at the same time, so that we can really honor her in giving thanks to God and giving thanks to her for having given of herself wholeheartedly into this ministry. So watch as we have a conversation with Lynn Gibson. Greetings, Lynn, and thank you. Thank you for coming and that we have this conversation about the ministry that you've so devoted your life to.
I've been involved for about 13 years, 2007. My daughter was at St. Stithians and she needed to get points for her President's Award. She wanted to get a gold and they had to do good works.
I see.
For this. So I thought, how am I going to get her to do some good works involved? So I approached St. Michael's and said, how can I get involved? And Maggie Woolley was in charge of the SOUB Kitchen at that time. She in fact started the SOUB Kitchen some 28 years ago. And so she said to me, why don't you come and see the SOUB Kitchen? So I tagged along behind her and she started taking me quite regularly, and I started getting involved, and watching her work, seeing her how she helped the people. She would take secondhand clothing, fruit for them. The SOUB Kitchen was running and I was amazed at this work. And she would also try and get jobs for the people that were looking for jobs. So I started doing the SOUB Kitchen then. And so every week, Fridays, I go through to Hillbrow. It operated at the start when I joined at the Christchurch Care Centre in Hillbrow. We had a security guard called Clement Nondluvu, and he saw this all operating, and in fact he knew the Bible, he'd studied a little bit, and the pastor that originally was there was retiring, and so Clement came in. And so Clement and I have been working together since then.
Wow.
Yes. Wow. I was going in every Friday. The SOUB Kitchen was continuing. Clement took over the services. They needed to feel this family connection in a cell group, not just as part of a congregation, but a family. So I started the cell group, and I brought them a study which I had done before, and it was about the dark times when your heart is in a bad place and the devil comes in and works at you and gives you doubts about life and makes you negative in your life, and it gives you the tools to overcome, and it gives you readings and helps you to deal with all those deep times. And that was what the street people were working with all the time. They had huge challenges in their lives.
You basically brought your whole self into this, from your own experience, bringing that entire experience into the cell group in finding it. Wow.
So I started it, but it was soon apparent that I could not get the people to talk because they were from so many different backgrounds. Culture was different, language was different, everything. So I passed it on to Clement and said, Clement, you must handle the cell group. I'll give you all the tools, I'll give you all the photostats, the the knowledge, everything that you can deal with, and he would prepare and they would come. And we started with a mere 6 people would come, sometimes 7, 8, and started going to 10. I would make them a little pie and a little pudding, a milk tart or something, and I would take it and we'd have something to eat before they would start their cell group.
But just on that, as you were talking, I was reminded of the fact that we always talk about outreach ministry as giving something, giving food to, whether it's food parcels or sandwiches or whatever, to those that are in need. But you seem to have started the other way around, recognizing the need to share the word with people who did not really have anyone to reach out to. And it is out of that the second aspect of it came to say,
Yes.
They are hungry. It just reminds me of the story of Jesus interacting with people and teaching them, and spending the entire day there, and suddenly they've spent a whole day and they are hungry. And,
Yes.
and the disciples saying, send them away. And he said, no, you give them something to eat.
Yes.
And so you basically relived that experience, which then flows into the ministry.
And I was standing outside, and the lady from inside SPAR, where they did all the cooking, came out. She said to me, do you know that we throw our leftover food away every night? She said, would you like this? And I said, I have been praying for a way to help the cell group with food, because I gave them a little amount, but I was imagining big. And I tell you, when I went to collect that food on a Friday, it would feed the whole 40 people that were coming at that time then.
Wow.
It had grown.
Wow.
And they used to get veggies, protein, and a sweet of some sort. And it was just unbelievable.
Wow.
So they were coming for the food,
Yes.
but
Yes.
they were now getting the teaching with it. And so Clement and I combined very well, and so that was the huge start of the cell group, just growing and growing. And eventually it was literally the whole cell group stayed on, and they had the service then, the church service afterwards, and then they'd all go home. I can collect groceries.
Yeah.
And so I was standing outside SPAR's, and I would take 4 of the children from the orphanage. They'd come with me. So I'd pick them up from Hillbrow. I'd come all the way to the north to some SPAR, and I had about 7 of them that I would go and stand at. And I'd spend the morning asking people, and then the children would put all what I collected into the car. And they were so proud, because on our way home then, I used to take them for a hamburger and a Coke, and they thought they were the bee's knees because they had done this huge collection and helped me with all this. And this was the start of the grocery collections. And it was amazing, because I supported so many people with these groceries. And it grew and grew. And then I started doing it at the fruit and veg, Carreras. And so I started standing outside there, and so I'd get all the fruit and veg and the groceries for the soup kitchen and stuff. And I've been doing that for probably about 10 years. The soup kitchen is registered as a non-profit organization with the Department of Social Development, and as such is deemed worthy of support. The finances are done monthly and are audited on a yearly basis. The members involved meet quarterly, with the AGM taking place towards the end of the year. The organization is supported mainly by St. Michael's, and to a lesser degree by St. George's Church, Parktown. And there are a few private donors as well. But from that point of view, our finances are drying up fairly substantially, and so always there is a need for to organize finances and have fundraisers. St. George's had this group called Vocalize. They don't use any instruments, they just use their voices.
Oh, wow.
And it was beautiful.
So they sing?
They sing.
Do they sing different types of music?
Yes,
or?
yes.
Right.
Remember, it was quite cold. And we had these fires burning outside, and people arrived, and then we had them come, and they were queuing to come in, and then we would had the hall beautifully. Everyone sat down. We sat everyone down, and then we had an auction, and I had my friends being the spokesperson, and then they came along and did their beautiful thing, and we had I had got a whole lot of wonderful prizes that we raffled, and so we tried hard, and there was a meal. We had someone give them a meal, and then all the volunteers from the soup kitchen did the pudding. So we all took on to do a pudding, and so that saved on the price to pay for the food and everything and make more profit. So, and the second was run in a very similar fashion, yes. And it was very hard to get people to come to the Vocalize. I was on the phone, phoning hundreds of people, trying to make them come and making them realize it's going to be a special evening. And it did. It was a great success, the first one, and then the second one was even better because now people had heard about the first one.
They were coming
yes,
with
and
anticipation.
Yes, so it was very, very special. And our prices, our payouts was only for the meal because the hall was for free. The Vocalize gave their talents to the cause, and our costs weren't too great. But even with all that, it's so hard to make money for fundraising. It really is very, very hard.
I have to say, I'm very proud of our congregation, because in various ways they have continued to offer little bits here and there. And when we feared that most of our outreach ministries were going to just die, there are people who continued, and they gave of themselves and all of that. So with the number of people retiring from this ministry,
yes, lots
tell us
have.
a little bit about that.
Lots have retired. Firstly, Barney, our chairman, passed a few years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, and Lukanya has come in to fill his shoes and is doing an amazing job. You talk about someone who continued on through lockdown. Wow, quite amazing. He came in, he was an answer to prayer, and he's managed to keep the soup kitchen going from June right through, because nobody else goes through except Chris. Chris takes all the food because he was busy with exams, and Chris Harvey, she's one of our volunteers, takes all the food to be cooked.
So what with all of that, the various people retiring, and yes, we have Lucanio who's involved there, but certainly there is a need for more hands.
Definitely.
What message can you give to the people of St. Michael's in appealing for more hands to come?
Yes,
and help?
When can I just read one of my little things that I've said in a speech?
Please do.
The Lord has given me such purpose through my ministry at the soup kitchen, and I am able to use my gifting, my talents, my time, my finances, and my life to serve the Lord. And in putting others before myself in just a few things, forgetting and focusing on me, I'm able to get such favor and loved and blessed in so many, many ways by serving the Lord through this ministry. I'm a work in progress on an exciting spiritual journey on the way to my real home. And I want to thank all the people that have been part of the soup kitchen. We are all in different places on our journeys, and we are touched in so many different ways. And the Lord just does help you in your ministry. He gives you a ministry and He supports you. He directs your path. I can give so many wonderful stories, hundreds of them, where I wasn't prepared, I was disorganized, and I arrive in a situation and the Lord climbs in and just brings it all together. And you get such fulfillment, such joy, and such hope and blessing in what you do. And this is a wonderful thing. So we haven't got a secretary at this stage. Dale, due to ill health, has retired. I'm retiring now because my husband's retiring, and I just don't have the time to devote to the soup kitchen like I used to. And then also the volunteers, all the volunteers going through, we need more hands. So I just ask you to just take a step forward and just make it, just that one step, and it's amazing how the Lord will come in and just take over and direct you in your service to Him.
Lynn, I can see when you speak about this, you speak with passion, because that's where this ministry came from. It came from a place of passion when you started, and I'm just hoping and praying that passion would filter through to some people in the congregation who might want to step in your shoes.
Yes.
Maybe even they don't have the kind of energy that you have sitting here with you now. I feel that same energy. I have seen you moving around and getting things done and all of that. But it is, I think what's important is to know, to use your words, to know that as more hands join together, there's a lot more that can be achieved.
Yes.
And I want to take this opportunity on behalf of the clergy, on behalf of the church wardens and the parish council, to just thank you. Thank you for the gift of ministry that you have brought to St. Michael's through the soup kitchen, where it started and where it is now. And I know that God will call other people to continue where you have ended.
Yes.
So thank you so much, and we love you, and we know that you have poured your whole heart into this, and we just pray that more people would come in and continue this wonderful ministry that you have started.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you. It's been a privilege, a huge privilege. Thank you.